Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Peter Barber here, professional singer and music producer, and I just did a first time reaction and analysis to Nene Royal singing Zombie on America's Got Talent. Really awesome performance from this rising star. Super cool to hear all the distorted vocals and to kind of see the judges' response to the distorted vocals, which is less common just in the music world and on shows like this. So really fun, really enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something and gain appreciation for this artist, and I'll see you after. Nice. Dude, that came out of absolutely nowhere. And it's one thing to just like shred the guitar up on the opening, right? You've got the amp there. You can just get right into a super heavy sound that's kind of shocking. But what's way cooler than that is when she actually starts singing and she does this huge, awesome, super distorted belt. So vocal distortion, when you're adding that grit to the sound, you're creating turbulence, sometimes at the level of the vocal folds, sometimes the false vocal folds, sometimes other parts of the vocal tract. If you get into really heavy distortion, like you might hear in deathcore and more intense genres like that. But here we just get some really cool vocal distortion right off the bat. And then of course she starts singing she goes into the verse, and it's very much just pure tone, chest voice, much more intimate. So we get this huge contrast from this big distorted belt to, very much the lower part of her range as she goes into a cover of this wonderful song. It's one of my favorite songs. I have a cover of it with Tegan Early that I'll leave up here if you guys want to check it out. Super cool. Let's go back to this. I want to get this big distorted belt. Oh, maybe she did it right at the beginning. It's hard to hear exactly what's going on because there's so much noise. I think she's up around there's also some pretty cool overtones happening, just like that is a product of what her vocal folds are doing. That sounds more like there's like a whistle tone almost embedded in that harsh vocal. But I think her true tone is around like a high B flat or a high B natural, tenor high B. So that's a B4, right around a tenor high C. Yeah, something like that. Or I think a full step up from the original. I actually can't remember. I only remember what key our cover is in. And she's a whole step up from that. So, yeah, I think we did the original key, but not totally sure. Wait for it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so she's got this really cool rock distortion that she's turning on and off, right? Just kind of treat it like a dial. depending on the kind of mood you want to go for. But I love that the first verse is very much just pure tone. It's low in her voice, so it's a little breathier. It's a little more intimate sounding. It's not like tight vocal fold closure and a really bright tone. It's a more warm, breathy tone. And then she gets into the pre-chorus and she starts turning on the grit and the distortion when necessary, not just completely into full distortion, although that is certainly a possibility during the chorus part, right? When you want to have the kind of intensity climax. But during this pre-chorus, she's just kind of showing us like, hey, look, I have all these vocal colors I can use. One is the low, soft, breathy one. You've already heard the really big, high, distorted belt. Now we're getting it in the upper middle part of her range and almost more speech-like than a big, long, cascading melody sort of. And just, choosing the words when to turn it on and off. Really cool. We'll go back to the start of this section. So it's actually mostly clean. There's just a few words that she was putting distortion on. Sick. Yeah, so she's up, getting up to the B flat there, but this sounds very comfortable. I mean, it sounds like she can stretch her chest voice up a lot higher. It's not heavy distortion all the time, and it's not heavy distortion when she does it. It's this really cool rock metal distortion. Not like heavy metal, it could be, but actually, it's really depending on the song. It's not like the deathcore stuff where there's a lot of there's more false fold involvement and there's like other fleshy bits of the vocal tract involved. It's crazy how some of those singers make those sounds. But this is like a classic rock metal grit. But even when she's not doing it, she has a cool kind of rock edge to her voice. Like there's a little bit of I like calling it a rock edge because there's like a little bit of raspiness. There's like a little bit of extra. There's a quality there that's not a pure tone, which is really fitting for a rock genre, especially this heavier cover of this rock song. Super cool. It's really, she's singing super well. She's locked in, also playing the guitar. I don't really know how the performances work in AGT. Obviously, there's like a whole lot of production and there's much more planning than we see here in these videos, but absolutely crushing it. So up she goes from C to C sharp. Yeah, just a half step up. Really that's high, probably getting towards the upper part of her chest range. That's really starting to stretch. Got that cool distortion in there. Super intense. Nice. Oh my God, bring distortion and deeper into the mainstream. Yeah, this to me sounds like a fry scream, where it's typically, it's up in it sounds really loud if you actually do it like acoustically. It's not a very loud sound. All the intensity comes from the noise, which just means non-periodic sound waves. So there's the sound that's coming out of her that doesn't have pitch. That's called noise. And that sounds really intense to human ears. And so when you hear a sound like that on a studio recording, it's typically not very loud, which is a pretty cool thing, but it sounds really loud and intense. And just a great execution of it here. It's like, it's squeezed. Depending on, there's like a number of different ways to do a fry scream. This one has like, actually, it sounds like pretty good airflow for a fry scream. But it's a compressed sound, right? It's a very compressed sound because you want to, the way it's compressed and how the vocal folds are interacting is what causes the noise, essentially. And you can, again, it's all dials, it's all spectrums, like how much noise you put in, how much distortion you put in. But this, to me, I'm not an expert on harsh vocals. I've been learning a lot more about them and trying to learn how to do them for about a year now. But there are, like, if you like the Fairy Voice Mother or the Charismatic Voice, they know more about vocal distortion than I do. So go check them out if they've done a video about this. I don't know if they have. Anyway, this to me sounds like it, at least where it ends up, sounds very much like a classic fry scream. That. Sick. Incredible. These performances are so short.
Your tone of your voice, it was like really authentic, and even the fact it was all a bit messy actually made, for me, the audition really good.
Thank you.
Really good.
Messy.
We're gonna vote Howie.
I wonder what he means by messy in this case, because it sounds chaotic, right? The genre, again, has a lot of noise, and even in the guitars, there's a lot of distortion and added noise beyond the tone. So that can make it sound sort of messy. Vocally, yeah, there was like a little bit of sliding sometimes between notes. Obviously, the distorted stuff, especially something like a fry scream that doesn't really have pitch, could sound messy. I don't expect Simon, or probably any of these judges, has like had a ton of experience with really distorted vocals. It is shocking how siloed, experts can be within the music world, speaking as a very much a fully professional music person in various fields. Like, you can get very, very siloed. Like, a great example is when you hear like an opera singer come on one of these shows, and these judges are like completely blown away when none of them are anywhere close to as good as like the people working professionally as opera singers. But they hear like vibrato and like a darker vocal color. And I sing opera professionally, so context there. They hear like vibrato and a darker vocal timbre, and they think like, oh, that's opera. And that's like the only requirements. But there's so much more to it. And so you can be an expert, and then presumably, well, I don't know the backgrounds of all these judges, but you can be an expert person in the music world for one thing or a few things and really not know much about another thing, because it's a very vast world, the music world. And there's endless variety and things that you can focus on. So I would not be surprised. Really distorted singing, sort of like opera, is a sort of niche thing. It's not like super, super mainstream pop that, everyone's kind of familiar with. So I would not be surprised if these singers were less familiar with distorted singing, and therefore making Simon have a comment like messy sounding, because I see how it could sound a little messy and chaotic, even if executed well, especially something like a fry screen. Anyway, that's a whole rabbit hole, but just interesting comment from him.
Yes!
There's a nice distorted yes from Howie.
Yes!
See, that's an untrained distorted singer doing it.
We're gonna vote Howie. Yes!
Really horrifying sounding. They have 1,900 cameras throughout this space.
That was unexpected.
They've got a camera on every audience member. All right, great stuff. This was fun. Once in a while I'll come back to the America's Got Talent videos when one seems to be particularly interesting. This is great. Really enjoyed. So hope you learned something. Hope you gained appreciation for this artist. As always, leave recommendations below. And if you'd like to support me further, head to my Patreon. That's the best way to do it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.